So
Oh, man.
it was fine. It's fine.
It's totally fine.
But the young lady was also an aspiring esthetician, so I'm glad she had that experience.
Want Jennifer nose rings?
You don't handle this?
Get up and shake it out. Said get up and shake it out.
Check it out. Or
Yeah, just remember your angles, Matt.
No, this is not good time.
Yeah.
No way, that's looking at
my left side is
my
fine.
picture.
I'm just gonna turn this way the whole time.
Oh my God, look at your little button.
It is funny how
My
they
sister
people,
got me that.
Antisocial
when they
better
look at their
on the radio.
picture, they can just
I
do
need to
like
document
they'll
this.
show people a reverse, the same photo, but it's reverse of them, and the reverse one is what most people like because that's what they see. in
25
there.
seconds, Rick.
I never thought of that.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's so weird doing it on location because I'm not in control and it bothers me.
You're in control.
No, I'm not. Like, I'm just sitting here. Like, Scott's got the tablet.
Rick.
The
He's got the
audio's being
headphones.
different. I don't like not having control. I like having the board in between me and everybody.
So you're
Ricky has
Oh,
control
come on now. Have
issues.
you not known that forever?
Ricky,
Yeah.
Like, seriously,
Ricky.
it's not even a secret. Yeah, it's,
I mean, you
Rick,
were directing everybody. You
away.
got it under control before you handed it off.
yeah, so, kind of.
And I did hear that Ricky said good morning. Now, I always say good rising because I'm not mourning my existence. I am rising to the day and the occasion.
I thought you were
Ah,
talking about
I
the
see
Spelled
you.
different.
But she's using it
But
in
in
a
the English-
different
Yeah.
context.
Because in the English language, there's no differentiation between that.
Yeah.
So some Tony Robbins stuff with neurolinguistic programming.
Yeah.
Rise to the occasion.
Hmm.
Matthew says
all right, we're
grand
waiting
rising.
to
Grand
join
rising.
Ricky
Leo just
out
says
at
hey.
Loco.
Hey.
Ricky and
I'll say,
Lauren.
what's up, sunshine?
Depends on who I call. Like, depends on who I'm talking to. Like, this morning, it's Buttercup. That's what I
Buttercup.
called when I called Evan to wake him up. So, good morning,
Oh.
Buttercup. Get out
No,
of bed.
and sunshine.
It's therapy day.
Sometimes I sing it too. Good morning, sunshine.
Yeah, but see,
and then
y'all-
Rylan's like, stop.
See, me and Rylan on the same page. It's because y'all have that holistic thing going, and the fourth eyes, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, introduce our guest, Ricky.
Well, that's just gonna let them introduce. I know this is the one I know. I know Lisa Horton.
From when she used to
Lisa.
talk in middle school.
Yeah, no, elementary
middle
school.
Not middle school.
So
It
we've known
stopped
each
in
other
middle
since second
school.
grade.
Okay.
Second or third?
Broadview?
Second
Was that where
grade.
y'all went?
Yeah,
Was it
yeah.
Broadview?
Yeah, Miss Tapp's class.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Wait, so you're older than Scooter?
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that.
Just like a year, right?
Yeah.
Well, you look much younger.
It's all
You've never told me that.
Well, I only dole out compliments where they're due.
Ouch! Like, that hurts. That hurts so much.
She does the facial. She's got the good skin.
I know. I see videos of her doing this all the time.
Have you ever done a facial with her?
I've never done facial.
Oh my gosh.
She does back facials too,
Yeah, it's not on the menu, but.
What?
but a lot of gentlemen request the back facial.
It's when they take the hair off your back.
No.
Oh, it's a Brazilian pull-out.
No, we're not doing this today. We're staying away from the Brazilian comments all day long.
Yeah, I don't do that anyways.
Yeah. So, like the back of my head?
No. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're bald, but no, just your back, your literal back, like, yeah.
Some people
If you
have acne.
and yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
heard
I
of
mean,
this either, though, so I am curious.
What, a back facial?
Yeah, back
All right,
facial.
well, before we get going on this, introduce yourselves. Tell who you are and what you do.
Oh, okay. Lee Ho, Lee for Lisa, Ho for Horton.
I've always wondered that.
hmm Yeah, my grandmother sort of inadvertently named me that when I was about 17, and
Aw.
it was just funny,
Stuck.
so it stuck, yeah. So, esthetician, Lee Ho Skin Co., working out of Simply Beautiful. And she contracts me, or however you phrase that, to do some mobile stuff, like parties of 3 or more,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I'm Loren Lorino, also known as Ren, since we're throwing nicknames out here, and that's for Radically Enthusiastic Naturopath. I am the owner of
Whoa,
Mountain.
time out. What did you just
Radically
It's the
enthusiast.
acronym for my nickname, like she explained how Lee Ho is broken down.
Wait,
Okay.
Just following
You
her
said
lead.
naturopath?
Naturopath.
Radically enthusiast naturopath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the owner of Mountain Mobile Massage, and we bring the spa to you. And we have Leho, who's one of our mobile estheticians, Matthew, who's one of our mobile massage therapists. We also have lash, nails, airbrush makeup, the lady who does the IVs and the B vitamins. You can check out our website for the whole comprehensive list. But just moved to Tennessee and didn't want to have an office and decided to do the mobile thing, not realizing what a hub for not only tourism, but for the average person who wants to, have stress relief and therapeutic massage at home could benefit from our services. And it just went,
For the local.
Yeah.
For the locals.
Yeah.
I like
But,
that loco, because we're at loco today.
We
Yeah.
are Loco today.
yeah.
So-
And I mean, y'all's guys might recognize me as America's holistic sweetheart from my show Think Healthy, and we went to over 24 countries, and I've been on Dr. Oz a handful of times, but there's nowhere I'd rather be right now than in Tennessee with these guys.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Matthew Sias. I've been a personal trainer since 1999. I am also a massage therapist, which is my primary source of income. Part of that is working with Loren. I work with Mountain Massage, which is my business, and I am incorporating a lot of different practices from my years of experience as a personal trainer, including helping people rehab and helping people who are maybe going through physical therapy and helping people with all kinds of ailments, just like a lot of massage can do.
And also the veterans,
Yes,
as you're a
yeah,
Navy
well, yes.
veteran. Thank you
Navy
for serving.
veteran as well, and that's where I got my interest in fitness, and that fitness led me into massage therapy.
So when she mentioned that you were previously in the Navy and
Yes.
now you help others in training, so a personal trainer, the first thing that came to mind was a book that I started, Unbeatable Mind. Have you read that book?
I had not.
It was a little hard for me to read. I just hit that, so I'm sure that was a big crash somewhere. I'm not used to wearing it. I'm used to dogging into it. But it was a little hard for me to read because he was talking about all of the things that he did in the Navy and how he learned to discipline his mind
Right.
to come into what personal training became for him. So might be something that you really enjoy because it's probably your lingo that
Yes, I'll have to
I was-
check that
it
out.
was a little
I always
over my
learn
head.
something new. So.
Mark Devine, that's who
Mark
wrote the book.
Devine. Yeah, thank you for that.
I want to get back to how you described your name, because I don't understand what any of those words mean. Not a single bit of what you
Okay,
said.
wait, what does radical mean? Radical enthusiast.
You got the radical,
I
right?
mean, I understand that, but I wasn't sure how you were meaning it, because morning threw me off this morning already. Like, I was all about,
Oh,
just
you've got him
the sun
flustered.
shining, and
Well, let's
I'm
ask
so
him,
confused.
are you a believer in your vibe attracts your tribe?
Yes,
No,
you are,
well, maybe. I
because
don't
you have
guess.
an amazing tribe.
I have a great
Yeah.
group of, yes, my
Yeah.
friends are great, but I don't, I guess you surround yourself with, I don't surround myself with like-minded people, though. I like to surround myself with people who are of all walks of life, that way I can have
Absolutely.
people point me in different directions.
That's right.
Like, so, funny story, my phone is full of people's names without their names. Like, I have nicknames for everybody. All my friends have a different name in there. And so Lauren and I, a couple weeks ago, she goes, "What's my name in there?" I was like, "It's Lauren." She goes, "What?" And I was like, "It
I
hasn't come
was
to me."
very disappointed too.
Because it's not one of those things where I just give it somebody, like, it has to have a meaning. Like, there has to be a reason, or I would never remember what they are. Like, one of my best friends is in my phone is Baby Jesus.
I love that one. Oh, baby Jesus is calling, and I'm like, hallelujah.
And then, I got another one that's Thing Two. So we have just different names in there. So yesterday, her and I got off the phone, and I sent her a text. I was like, "Oh, by the way," it's like, "your nickname came to me today. Rafiki."
From
From
Lion
Lion
King. Yeah, I could see that. Okay.
Because, well, the reason why is because I can be really petty from time to time when I want to. And I was about to be really petty. And she talked me off of it. And I was like, it's like she smacked me on the head and put me in the right direction. So, That was, so I was like, yep, so you're now on my phone from now on as Rafiki.
I love it.
I mean, whenever I call Leho, I have to like yell at Siri, "Hey Siri, call," and I have to be very pronunciated. I have to say, "Call Leho." If not, it'll call someone else. It's like really weird.
It's hard for me to say, like, every time somebody says Leho, I'm like, who?
Yeah.
That's all I know her
And then when
as.
you changed your social media stuff to that, I was like, who is this
Who is
person?
this?
It's like, I don't know.
No, I have
She's
to.
embodying her
yes.
superhero nickname, you know, like Stephanie Giannotta is Lady Gaga, like Lisa Horton is Leho.
I have to stop and think, like, wait, what is Leho's name? What is Leho's name? It's Leho. It's Leho. And I'm like, no, wait, it's Lisa.
I call her Holy.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I like your wordplay.
Yeah, she says I can only talk her out of church once a month to do mobile esthetician stuff, so I started calling her Holy since then.
Gosh, okay.
Just have to add the comma.
Yeah. No, I like
You're making
it.
her blush a little bit here.
She's been
That's-
blushing.
That's
Yeah.
easy to do.
She looks a little sunburned. Have you been in the sun?
No, I'm just
No?
red.
Aw.
But I love what you touched upon and said she doesn't look her age, whatever that may be, 25, right?
Yeah.
Because she
Yeah, yeah.
truly embodies and walks
Mm-hmm.
the talk. Actually, we're the same age, and we always get that we look a lot younger. And it truly is that lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
approach. You know, Matthew was in the gym at 6:30 this morning. And when you think about it, that's something, you know, I like to work with people who really walk their talk, no matter what their background is or where they're at. And there's always learning from having all this Rolodex of superheroes in our phone, however we, you know, put their name as. But, you know, I really feel that there's a difference between getting, say, a massage from someone who's maybe always eaten fast food and has adrenal burnout and just, you know, not living up to keeping their own self healthy versus someone who's really like, I'm going to deliver the best experience because we're always like Leho and I, which was just on her social media, just took an advanced course out of Europe for facial massage and the TMJ relief. Like, these are practitioners who are always bettering themselves, sharing with the community, trying to educate, you know, even just planting the seeds for people to kind of say, I don't know about that, but, you know, then they start to go down their own rabbit hole and, you know, start to become healthier for themselves, their family, their community, and the planet. And I really, truly believe that's how we create a sustainable community.
Yep. Oh, we got one. One
Can I
kid
help
free.
you?
Yeah. So, Lisa, I saw you on Facebook this week. This was this week, maybe last week. But you had your hand stuck in somebody's mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was mine.
That was hers, about to be mine.
I was like, what are you doing? I was so confused.
I should have
Well,
did a
you
better
can
video.
like target more muscles and kind of get in there a little bit deeper if you work sort of internally and externally. You know, all these, like the masseter especially, like right through here, and relieve tension and, I mean, there's lots of benefits too. It's part of like the face sculpting, neo-lifting, kind of natural facelift.
I'll translate.
Sort of.
Have y'all's guys heard of TMJ? You know, that lockjaw, and we're always clenching, or people who grind. So there's certain massage, like she's saying, where we put on gloves and we can access the masseter and the different muscles of the face and even the sinuses internally and externally at the same time, which provides that relief.
Yeah, yeah.
And it disables that lockjaw or that TMJ.
I mean, and over time, you can really sort of subtly sort of reshape the face. Obviously not the main structure, but, you know, you kind of work those muscles, you release tension somewhere else, and it's gonna like reduce sagging over time and things like that.
Or fine lines and wrinkles
Yeah,
are less
yeah.
apparent. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's pretty cool. It's not a one and done. It's like a, you know, you gotta keep doing it.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
And the muscles of the neck play a big
Yes,
role
yes,
in that
absolutely,
as well.
absolutely.
As far as just because we do hold so much
Mm-hmm.
stress and tension, there's not
on.
many clients I get that.
Go Levator and
that
Scalenes
come-
on me
yes,
now. Let's
yes, that
go.
come in and say, oh, my neck and shoulders are sore, and it can lead, you know, someone who has a lot of headaches that can be from the muscles of the jaw being too tense up, or or the muscles of the neck. They get tight and can cause headaches.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be surprised, even tight feet will radiate all the way up the body and then right here in the,
Yep.
you know, through the occipitals and the frontal lobe when you have tension headaches.
Get
It
a
can
little
be
harder.
because you, yes,
Right
sir.
there.
It could be because you have just, tight feet or tight high arches or something like that. So
Everything is
what we do,
so
it's all
interconnected.
interconnected, and we see with our hands and assess the whole body, again, holistic, to figure out what's going on.
Wow. Okay, so tell me how you got into all of this science of the body.
Me, okay. So I was just a Jersey girl living on a prayer, and my first career was in state government, and I saw just how stressed out everybody was. And I just had a passion for the healing arts, liberal arts, and started part-time studying for massage. I was really interested in anatomy and physiology. I thought the more I could learn about the human body and how it works, the better I could take care of myself and not have to feel like I'm stuck in this job just for the health benefits that everybody else is holding on to and making themselves sick about. So when I got vested in my pension, after 13 years, I resigned in good standing, and I opened up my first business in health and wellness and just went down my own on my own journey and down my own rabbit hole with it.
So, talk about that. I'm trying to figure this whole, because I go see him. I do chiropractic once a week. I go to do acupuncture at least once a month. I try to go at least once every other week. Make sure I take care of feet, pedicures, the whole nine. Like you said, you're in the gym at 6:30. Well, I was on the row machine at 4:45 this morning, doing 10 miles before I started my morning show. And that's how my routine is. I stretch, do the row machine, and then I shower, start work. That's my day. And so it's just one of those, y'all starting y'all's job. I don't understand, I guess, the massage part of it, because I've had massages, and
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I feel worse after one usually than I do before I went in there.
Let me jump in really quick and just say, so some of that also could be because of some of the toxins and things that are breaking up. However, massage is like pizza, okay? It's all bread and cheese, meaning it's all the same ingredients. But, you might go to Paisan's on the square and wait an hour for your table, and you might not ever order from that fast food delivery one again, okay? All therapists have their own way of facilitating massage. Some of us have studied different modalities and things, but when someone comes to me and says, I really need focus on this, or range of motion is my goal, or they're more of a sports person, I might recommend Matthew, because his thought process on that person is like a trainer. It's kind of where they're at. If they tell me they want, neck release, I might take that client because I do a very, advanced sort of neck massage. I always like to assess people at first and do sort of a signature focus on what they're looking for, because I don't want to leave them sore or ever bruised or feeling actually like you explained, because I want them to kind of, the next morning, this is how you can tell if you've had a good massage. When you wake up the next morning, check in with your body when you first wake up, and if you can feel, there's something looser or different, that was the massage the day before. So I like to work with people, and that's the beauty of Mountain Mobile Massage, where, it really depends on delivering a world-class experience to a person every single time. We are truly vested in the clients that we work on, instead of like an establishment where it's more of a cattle drive, hit or miss with what you get. That tends to have newer therapists. Not some of them are just amazing, out of the gate. But just saying, so we really take a vested interest in what your goals are and how to work that, and maybe not necessarily leaving you like that. Now, if we were to leave you in that state where you're more achy or feeling that way, it's something that at least the therapist that we work with would communicate, hey, we're going to do this deeper work. You might be sore, day 1, 2, but by day 3 you should feel awesome. If you're not, text or call me. Please speak to that too, because I know you do a little bit more of that extensive sort of work.
Yes, a big part of what I try to do is work on the nervous system. I want to calm the nervous system. If it's already calm, I want to keep it calm. The way I work, especially when it comes to keeping clients from being too sore the next day, which is something I try to pride myself on, is I want everything to be comfortable. I want everything to feel like a massage, even if somebody's coming in with a lot of pain. I leave the painful techniques to the physical therapists and the chiropractors, where let them do the painful stuff. I want everything to feel good. I want to be calm, and I do that also by really working in layers. And that's one thing over the years that I've learned. I feel sometimes people they go in too fast. Oh, it hurts here. Okay, let's just get in there. Instead, I want to calm everything around. There's what's called guarding. So if you have something that's sore, the muscles in the area are a lot of times going to protect it, and they're going to tighten up. So what I want to do is loosen up those muscles. Also going straight for the spot that is sore is kind of like taking the batteries out of the smoke alarm. It's not really putting the fire out. In other words, it's not taking care of what caused that. When we get tension or a knot or something in the body, it's usually because other muscles in the body have not, they're not doing their job. And so sometimes muscles have to kind of take over, and then they're doing a role for another muscle, and they weren't really supposed to be doing that movement. So that's why, again, I like to work in layers. I want to work everything around the area, and I also want to get some of the muscles that might be responsible. Just like when we get muscle tightness in the back, a lot of times it's because the muscles in the front are tight, and if I only work on those muscles, it might feel good at the time, but it's just going to go right back unless we correct and open up the muscles in the front of the body. And also just doing maybe some strengthening or even just activating, and that's something I do with my clients as well. I'll have them activate some of the muscles that might be inhibited and not working because they're pulled on, or they're working so much and working so hard against some of those other muscles that are really tight. And by doing that, you're loosening up the muscles that are tight. You're waking up the muscles that are have fallen asleep because they can't do their job, again, because the other muscles are so tight.
And now I'm going to rename Matt in my context as the onion. But I do want to say two things that are sometimes misinterpreted. You're in front of the camera, Beba. You're in front of the camera. Two things are, people say the word knots a lot. Oh, I got knots. Well, do you know what knots are? It's just a loose term for postural muscles that are
Not relaxing.
And people are like, oh, if it's not deep, it's not beneficial, and along with the lines of what Matt explained, is when we go in deep, what happens? The body goes on defense. Mm-hmm. So a more experienced therapist will actually go in and do different layers of pressure to get to that deep. If you ask for deep, we're going to give you deep. This is your massage. We want you to be happy. But from, this standpoint, deep isn't necessarily more or better. And I love how you mentioned about the nervous system, because I also feel like that's something Liho can speak to, even that thing. So talk about it.
Gosh.
How do you relax the nervous system with the face?
Oh gosh, how do you relax that? I mean, it's just anytime you sort of activate that parasympathetic nervous system, you're deep breathing and things like that, and just really calming touch, and you're gonna
And you mentioned the fourth eye and all that. She's right on that pineal gland. Just a little tap.
Let's do some Joe Dispenza breathing while we're in there and see what really happens.
Huh?
So question, how much of this is technique and knowledge, and how much of it is intuitive for you?
Oh my gosh, I love that question, because in my heart of hearts, I truly feel what sets massage therapists apart is that ability to tap into that intuition and read the body through the hands and go where it's guided. Now, we don't really talk about that much, but that's only truly something that comes with the practice and the experience.
It's not something you can plan.
Right. Like we look to, like if we hit a spot on the hip, we look to see if you cringe. Like we look at breathing patterns, we look at how you react to certain areas. But I really feel like that's something that's just come over time. I don't want to get too woo-woo on this show, but
I'm all the woo.
It's really interesting
That's why I
work.
said you guys would get along.
Just knock yourself out. I'll be lost, but she's all over it.
Sometimes I always like to start on the head and end on the head, because I can gauge how much water the body's retaining and how much tension the body's holding in the beginning. And some people, it's like, whoa, you can you can almost like feel their energy field. And you can, like you said, with the parasympathetic, it's backed with science, you can actually experience and, witness it changing. And we all have witnessed miracles with this work. We've had, read the reviews, right? We've had people who have said they've had hip pain for over 20 years, and after some consistent work, it hasn't returned. Or I had a woman who couldn't get her arm past here, and after 8 weeks, once a week, she's pointing at 2 o'clock, and then we can go to more of a maintenance. So that's where I also think, like Leho will tell you, you had a facial today, all right, come see me next month if you feel like it. But if someone really is in need or working through some rosacea or some acne or something, she'll be straight with you and say, I think you should get in, bi-weekly until we start to meet your goal and we can go on maintenance. Same thing with us is, we can come up with a therapeutic goal and plan with you.
Do you help people adjust their diets based on what you feel in their bodies?
So with the massage, that's not completely part of it. Sometimes we will make suggestions.
Yes,
However,
suggestions.
my other company, that's what we do. So I've got nutrition certifications. We do nutrition testing, hair mineral analysis, cortisol analysis to put together a comprehensive plan for people. Definitely, I'm trained in that Mayan abdominal massage, which is great for people with digestive issues, even diverticulitis, even people who are trying to get pregnant. You could tell your story on that in a second. And I just read an article talking about how they're recommending this now for even women going on through in vitro to get pregnant, because just in a nutshell, what it does is we always go, in the direction of the colon to flush out all that stuff, but it also brings blood flow to this area and the female organs. Did you text me that night? The first time I did the abdominal work on her.
What did I text you? I said, what did you do to my guts?
What did you do?
I get some weird texts from
I
Holy
love you
and
with
Onion.
all my guts.
What did you do to my guts? It was like very crampy, but it did.
She
do
activated
things. So
something.
Yes.
So
I've had
it
people
clearly
text, I had
needed
a release, or wow, that created more space in my lower back, because he had pointed out, the compensation pattern, sort of, when we relax this can go and stretch, we're always in a dance with ourselves and our compensation.
But it was really, I think it was really beneficial. I enjoyed it.
And you had asked me earlier too how I also got into this. My friends call me Bionic Woman because I was the 4th woman in the U.S. to have a meniscus transplant in my knee. And when that occurred, I learned all about sports massage and more PT type stuff. I also was 280 pounds at my heaviest weight and had the skin removed from my body after holding off that weight for 10 years, and actually didn't sweat out of my armpits for almost a year until I discovered lymphatic drainage massage and those more effleurage sort of techniques. There's not too many people in this immediate area trained in manual lymphatic drainage. I'm the one who's going out to houses for that. The nearest I know besides that is probably Chattanooga and some of the bigger cities. So,
So you came
Post-op
into
top stuff.
You were 280 pounds?
Yes, sir.
I weigh 280.
I was a size 22, 280.
Wow.
I have before and after pictures if you want to put them up on your...
Blows my mind.
Yeah, but I learned naturally and holistically, and then of course I'm integrative. I went with the intervention of having the skin removed. My arms were down to here because I needed to reclaim my self-esteem. So we all are integrative. If you say this is your thing and you don't want to go over to here, that's perfectly fine. We always try to customize and tailor our experience to whatever you need for your body and to be in alignment with your beliefs and all that.
Now, one person can come in and kind of get like a whole package deal with all of y'all, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's definitely something we are working on.
Yeah, so we do custom packages for parties, or we have, if you need facial and massage, and like I said, I have a couple of estheticians, which is all the same starting price point. And we prefer to come to the home or the event space. We do have co-op offices. One is in Cowan, one that can accommodate couples is in Sewanee, and then Leho and I sometimes for some of our VIP clients, we'll do facial and massage back to back at her office in Winchester on Mondays by appointment.
So how did you get into being, I can't even say the word.
Esthetician?
Yeah, that one.
I can't see it.
She didn't want to do hair anymore.
No, well, no, I went to school for aesthetics first. Yeah, no. Honestly, huh?
Tell the truth. Tell the truth, Leo.
Okay. I mean, okay,
She
yeah.
enjoys facials more than cutting hair.
Yeah, I don't like hair. No, but I went to school for aesthetics first, and I mean, things just kind of happened, and it just was meant to happen, and then did that briefly, and then when my ex-husband and I separated initially, I was like, I gotta get out of this town. So I went to school for hair in Murfreesboro, and I was like, get out of this place. And then, like, when I was done, I was like, I'll just stay here. So I did it hair exclusively for 8 years, and it was just stressful, and it was just not me, and it's just far too people-y. And so, so about 3.5 years ago, I started planning to get back into aesthetics, and completely gave up my station, my hair station, back in September. And so,
I'm going to relax your parasympathetic nervous system while you continue.
yeah, we're total opposites. Can you tell?
I know how you feel. Completely know how you feel.
She tries to bring me out of my shell. It's working a little bit.
I'm getting thumbs up at like the marina and the Franklin County.
I went to a chamber thing, and somebody was like, "You're," what did she say?
Good job getting her out.
Leo's going places.
Yeah.
That's right. Getting out.
Crap, what was I saying?
You were just saying about how you got into
You know, it
aesthetics
is
in
funny
Murfreesboro.
though that you, who does not like to talk, and you're not a gossiper,
No.
was a hairstylist. I mean,
Yes.
because when
Yes.
people sit in the chair, what do? They spill the tea.
Oh, I hear a lot of tea.
Oh, we
Let me
hear
tell
a
you
lot
right
of
now, hold on a
tea.
second.
Yes.
I don't know from middle school on what happened, but from 2nd to 6th grade,
That girl never quit talking, did she?
well, I mean, she was a social butterfly. She was
Oh,
all
now
about
I'm an
it.
antisocial butterfly.
I mean,
Zoom in.
there was a group just like that whole clique, like that was it. So I don't know what happened between there.
You know what happens
No.
in
Yes.
middle
No.
school
But then again, I
is
mean, it was a class of like 24
There's
kids.
girls get
Oh,
mean.
I graduated
We
high
get a
school with
little
1,000.
self-conscious.
You do. You become.
And, you know, then you also start to accept and become who you are.
Right, then you get radical.
Yeah, then you get
And you
radical,
just follow your passion
enthusiastic.
to the edges of the earth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember Lisa playing basketball.
I was not a basketball player. I don't even like sports.
like sports.
I'm just saying, like this is what Lisa I remember growing up with.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm her new bestie, right?
Yeah.
And I'm actually taking her, to New York City this summer. 'Cause she wanted to
yeah, I
get
guess-
out of this town, right? I'm going to show you. Take
No,
her on
I
a
don't
subway
really.
ride.
No, I decided I like this town. I want to stay. That was years ago.
It's a
Yeah.
perfect
No, I love
yeah,
it
no,
here.
I do. I love
area.
Yeah.
It. That was just a brief little blip in my life. So
I can't say nothing. I've done it twice.
what?
Left the town. I was like,
And
I'm
come
getting
back.
out of here. I mean, I went first time I went to Korea. So
Did you?
yeah, like I got as far away as I possibly. I went to the other side of the world.
Well,
For what,
when you
like
give
10
me
years?
your number, I'm going to put you in my phone as Boomerang.
Boomerang.
I got Boomerang, I got Onion, I got Holy, and I'm still working on, maybe I'll just take the Rafiki.
It's a good one.
All right.
Rafiki.
all
It's
right.
stuck. But then I went to Orlando for 10 years.
Really? What? How did I not know this?
It's because I don't post stuff.
Well, and social media wasn't big back then because it was a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
We're the same age. Be
Oh.
careful what you're saying.
My bad. It was only 3 years ago, Lisa.
Yeah. See what you did? Open foot.
Insert mouth.
And I have 10 years on them, so.
Oh, really? Well, I'm only 29. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You can tell how many times you've been 29?
Just a few.
Uh-huh.
Handful.
We're going on a decade.
Hey, that's okay. I would rather be 41 than 21. You can pay me to go back.
100%.
Absolutely.
At least up here.
No. If I could, I'd have to go back and know what I know now, though. Like, that'd be the only thing I'd trade. If I could go back to, 18-year-old me going in the military and know what I know now, a whole different ballgame.
I suppose that's true.
I'd have joined the Coast Guard because they're stationed at beaches.
Well, that's what the Navy is. The Navy's at
No,
beaches.
the Navy goes out way out in the ocean. These guys come home every night.
True.
So, how long were you in the Navy for?
How long did it feel, or how long was I in? 'Cause it felt like 20 years, but I was in for 4, and I would absolutely do it again.
Do it again. Where are you
Yes.
from?
I'm from Nashville.
Okay.
Grew up in Nashville and have family, and as I follow people, and I had family that was in the Navy, and I'm like, I didn't know what else I wanted to do, and that during that experience is when I started getting into health and fitness and started learning about what a personal trainer was, and that's when I decided to go get my degree in exercise science.
Now, are you, because you're a Navy background and personal trainer, are you like, get up and do it, let's go? Or are you like, hey, come on, you got this, like, let's go, let's go.
Great
Like,
happy medium. You're a happy medium.
Yes,
what
I was going
could
to say more
somebody
in the middle, because
expect?
I always tell my clients, I'm not going to be a Richard Simmons trainer. All right, 5 more, let's
But
go.
you
let's
have
go.
the wig
But
in
I
your
will-
closet.
Yes,
Okay.
but I will definitely, crack down on the whip and,
Gotcha.
and get clients. You can do more, it's a little more enthusiastic than that. I'm not
Gotcha.
going to do cartwheels in here, but definitely just.
We just did a
combination.
spa party last Friday, and he started breakdancing at this spa
my
party. And I told him,
Yes.
please don't tell any jokes until we at least get paid. But they
Yes.
loved him. They
Yeah.
ate it up.
Of course they did.
My church joke, and then my don't say it within 5 miles of a church joke, and
Yeah.
they all liked them. Even I didn't know one was a pastor.
And he was the first one who got the joke.
Yes.
It was
Probably.
so funny.
Yes.
Okay.
So how did y'all, I guess, melt together?
I met
She
Leho on
stalked-
Instagram.
She stalked me on Instagram.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So how did you hear about Leho to stalk her on Instagram?
I don't know if I heard. I think she might have come up from a
People
friend
you
of a
know.
friend of a something or whatever, and I saw her videos and I was just blown away. I said, "This girl is special." She just.
It's the hats.
I want to know her.
I wanted to know, and I said, because I admitted it's been a while since I've had a facial, and I will say that I have had, a challenge finding my, the salon I like to go to, the practitioners I like to see for, my beautification. I want to know where you go for a pedicure, but
Glamour Lounge.
okay. See, I haven't
Christy's
tried
the
them yet.
best.
Okay.
Yep.
See,
So sweet.
and
Just went yesterday.
That's where the
because I'm-
Brazilian joke came in at.
Oh,
Oh, God.
we'll tell that off later.
but,
We got Ricky
yeah.
a little flustered and embarrassed. So.
So I was just
Not
very
often.
impressed by her presence and her social media, and wrote her and said, "Do you want to trade a facial for a massage?"
And I didn't reply right away because
No, she has to think on it.
I have
She's
to
an
overthink it.
emotional.
And see, I thought she was just as busy. I didn't know you were like
busy.
ghosting me.
No, she's
but
contemplating.
I
No,
thought
I
she
don't
was
ghost
just as
people.
busy as I am, because sometimes it takes me that long to
No, I
get
just
back
had
to
to like
somebody.
overthink it.
Had to overthink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
She had to ride the wave. Okay.
And I don't know. We just
Well, meeting
Oh,
new people. It's
So
like,
here's my
do I
question.
wanna
Does she
get
call
them?
you at 10:30 at night with ideas and questions?
yeah.
I
Okay.
do not. I might text her.
Organic red wine. No.
Just curious.
Maybe
Are
9:30.
you? Is that at me?
No, I was just asking a question.
Yeah.
Like
kinda-
nothing.
I did preface that with, "I hope your notifications are off."
Mine stays on D&D like 99% of the time. So
I get thoughts, and if I don't send them when I get the thought, it's
yes,
gone.
it's gone.
And
Absolutely.
so whenever I send a late message, I'm always like, "Hey, I hope you're not asleep or that your notifications are off."
Yeah.
But dot.
Yeah. And then this guy, I had the Wim Hof experience. Speaking of all the things, so he had just opened his office in Sewanee.
Do you do Wim Hof?
I do some.
I do
I-
cold stone
Whatever that
massage
is, I
this
don't
time
know,
of
but
year.
I'm
One little
surprised that you
time
didn't-
out. What is that?
No, let me explain. So he had just opened his office in Sewanee and didn't really have heat yet, and I had signed up for his massage package. And I'm going to have my massage, and it was absolutely freezing.
In a basement. too.
In a basement.
basement.
And there was like a dumpster in the back, and the garbage truck backed up.
Yes.
But I called it the Wim Hof. But speaking of, if anyone's a fan of cold therapy, this is the time of year where we do incorporate you have the option between cold or hot stones. We have a couple different ice.
So
What's the
Wim
difference?
Hof-
Well, the cold stones are
I've got
cold.
grasp that, but like, what's the difference for your body?
Therapeutic wise, well,
Yes.
as we know, cold helps with reducing inflammation. It also can help drive the circulation, like hot stones, but it also can be a personal preference. And it's we do a lot of outdoor. Like, check out my massage tan. So we do a lot of outdoor massage this
Did you
time
not
of year.
have sunscreen on? Let's talk about
Yeah, I
that.
always wear. You know that. I get it from you. Complimentary. We offer complimentary facial SPF from Leho Skin Co. at our exclusive places. But yeah, Wim Hof, you froze me out. But I knew he had good technique even through the shivering and.
How did you know what Wim Hof was?
It's
I'm
Lauren.
deep
If she
in the
mentioned
game,
Joe
my friend.
Dispenza and she read that book and all the things, like she's Rafiki, man. She's,
Oh, I know this. Trust me.
yeah.
I would look into
Yes,
him.
you would
and-
probably enjoy the
yes.
Wim Hof because you're very mind over body. Like you've got good discipline, so you probably would enjoy. The steamier and hotter it is, the
Uh-huh.
better for me. So Wim Hof is not my jam.
I'm still not even sure what.
I will send
Yeah,
you.
it's-
I will send
so
you some
it's-
He's
stuff.
the
Are we on the
Iceman.
same page here?
We're on the same page,
He
yeah.
he.
I don't
What
know.
is it like 3 or 4 times a week? He submerges, and not
Oh,
only
every
does he
day.
do. Is it every day?
Every day.
Or
Oh,
maybe it's
ice
starting out.
baths?
Mhm.
Yes.
I love those.
So that's
Yes.
the,
But he does like retreats.
Say ice bath. Like, I
And
know
he's
an ice
got
bath
like
is.
Yes.
a complete massive following. I actually just finished up a master class, and part of the daily challenge was to do the Wim Hof, and I was like
And
checking
he'll
out on
get
that
you to
one.
Hal if you ever meet him in person or at one of his conferences, because I
Mm-hmm.
was attending a lot of those in California before COVID shut everything down. He will get you, he gets the whole audience to howl.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He's fun.
Yes.
but
That.
more
thanks,
fun
Matt.
for me to watch than to do.
Yeah.
I love ice baths.
But he's radical and
Yeah.
enthusiastic, and that's, you know,
And
Yeah.
a lot of science.
Yeah.
A lot of scientists have studied him,
Yeah.
and he's been exposed to. It was like E. coli or something
Can't
that he did
he
in a hospital.
Control his body. Like he's figured out how to control his
Buddhist
body.
monks, there's studies on this where Buddhist monks can meditate to be able to control their body
Yes.
temperature.
I
Again,
watched
mind
one.
over madness, and there's all this stuff about spontaneous healing. I think this is a good time to throw something out. Not that I'm trying to upsell the length of a massage session, because I prefer actually just to do a 60-minute. But there's something, and you might have heard of this too, there's something called entrainment. And it's when we drop into those theta brain waves, and that's where it's shown that spontaneous healing can occur, or you're more, capable of healing the body. Now, this can happen listening to classical music, doing all different types of
Meditating.
modalities like meditating, yoga. But in a massage, it's hard enough for the average person to achieve that level of entrainment. Typically, it takes the average person about 40 minutes to hit that mark, okay, if they can drop in immediately from start time.
Yep.
So that's why you're actually better off getting a 90-minute massage, because you give yourself a greater advantage
You're
to
getting
dropping into this level of
Like
entrainment.
another 45 minutes of being transcended.
Because you can be in that theta brainwave state where all, the feel-good hormones can release and really go to where we need to work and heal with that longer session. And I just did a 2-hour the other day. Some people request 2 hours, and we'll allow them to customize it and break it up. So with myself, because I'm a yoga teacher and all the things, we'll do assisted stretching, we'll do some yoga, then we'll get on the table and do a 90-minute massage. So again, it's your session, it's customizable, it's what your body needs.
I like it.
this gal's like a jack of all trades.
So one of the last times I had acupuncture is 4 visits ago. Maybe. It'd been a while since I'd done it, and I'd just I'd started a cleanse, and I'd gone through that. I had one of the worst experiences I ever had in my life, and I love acupuncture. I get them done. I do it all the time. But my anxiety went through the roof. Like, I went through every emotional phase you could imagine, like from relaxed, happy, sad, freaking out, like, and you're laying on that table because you can't move because you got all these pins and needles in your body. And it was intense. Like 60 minutes of me about losing my mind in there. And the last time I massaged, I kind of had the same experience. And that's why I've not enjoyed them, because I go through the entire gamut of emotions in every one of them.
Now, I love that you pointed that out, because I'm going to throw another book out there. It's called Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, and it talks about the physical ailments and the metaphysical causes and how they're interrelated, because part of the holistic philosophy is every dis-ease is an imbalance, or sometimes we harbor these emotions or we bury them. And a prime example is Matthew and I were talking about this. I think I was doing a party with yourself, and a young lady, I used the hot stone, and the feet can hold hotter heat. So use hotter stones on the feet. And it wasn't hot enough to burn, because I always test it on my forearm just to make sure. I put it on this young lady's feet, and she had a freak out moment and started telling me a story of when she was a child around the campfire and some of the embers fell out and she accidentally, innocently stepped on it. And this hot stone on her foot triggered that memory that was dormant for 20 years. Okay, so my understanding with acupuncture, and I'm certified color puncture, which is not invasive because I like to work with children. It's an easier way to start doing that with children. But my understanding is these different points on the different meridians correlate and correspond to different organ systems, different things. They have the gate theories that also can tie more into the emotions and psychospiritual and spiritual. So who knows what point they could have hit and where something could have been deep-seated and rooted that triggered some type of memory to come up to have you experience that anxiety. And now it's like every time you think about maybe being touched in that area, it's a subconscious thing where it's triggering, oh, need to protect myself, can't have a massage, or something of that nature. So
And that's definitely something I try to, if I have a client coming in who's maybe has some stress going on, not just like work stress, but maybe they have a lot going on in their lives, to let them know it's a safe space, and to let the client know that they are in charge in whatever they need to do. If I need to stop and pause, let the client just stop and pause, or if they need to completely stop the session, they can stop the session.
Some people will sob the whole
Absolutely,
time. Like
yes.
you'll hit a point and they'll sob, and you communicate to them, this is okay, do you want to continue? Yeah, I've had multiple people, different people, all different walks of life, backgrounds, blah, 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 just sob on my table. But they have to release and get that
So
out.
I'll tell you a personal one for me. I was going through, it was right before Taylor was leaving, and I'd went to get a massage, and I'd had a lot of things that were kind of bubbling up. I thought I was okay. Like, I really did. I thought I was handling it okay. And I get on the massage table, and the dam broke, and I sat there and cried. But through that moment, like what was coming up, I was able to accept and process it and begin to actually release it. And so what happens when you're on the table, and what she said is, things are hit on that does trigger, there comes an awareness of, if you can pay attention in your mind to what is playing through at that moment, then you can actually allow yourself to begin to view it kind of like a film. So you're watching the movie rather than being the actor, to allow yourself to accept and release. But even when you do that, like the Onion, you could still be triggered by it in the future, because different things happen and they bring you to a different aspect or a perspective of that moment.
And you had talked about, too, as far as holistic and being intuitive. One of my favorite massage books is called Massage is Weird. And it's by Ian Harvey, whose superhero nickname, and in my phone, is the Massage Sloth, who's on Instagram, and I stalk him, too. But he talks about how, and this is his opinion, and I kind of agree to a point, that massage therapist might potentially be the only true holistic practitioners, because physical therapists work on the body, psychologists work with the mind, the talk therapy, and massage therapists truly need to work with the body, mind, and spirit and integrate it all into one session, no matter what that person needs. If they're a sobber, if they're an athlete, if they're just there for the stress relief and spa fluff, whatever they need.
Yeah, and that's this talk, I feel it can sometimes intimidate some people. They're hearing us talk about, emotions, I'm going to break down the table. I've been doing massage therapy for about 7 or 8 years, and I've only had one client, and I really just had to pause. But the client had an emotion come up, at least as far as a client that has let me know, and I can read bodies pretty well. So it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen, and so I think this conversation about that is important to let people know. But it's also fairly rare overall
Yeah.
for
And I've
clients
been
to
doing this
have that.
18 years, so
Yes.
I've really seen the spectrum.
I go
of
monthly,
the work.
one breakdown.
Yeah.
One breakdown.
Yeah.
I teach yoga. I'm a yoga instructor, and through the years that I've done yoga, I've only had one person have like an emotional moment. I've had an emotional moment. It's typically in those hips. Those hips, they release that feminine energy, and you're like, oh, and then you're like, okay, I feel better. My hips feel good. I can move forward.
Now, if we have the time for me to ask you this, as someone who's a yoga practitioner, how did that help you to ground yourself to be present for that person in that moment?
Well, so that was during and of course I'm going to go blank right here on the moment, and I can't believe I am. But I was actually doing Reiki at the same time. So in that moment, I just held space, and I put my hand on their back to let them know, hey, I'm here, you're safe. And I didn't say anything, I just allowed them to be.
Yeah. And of course, I'm sure, obviously, you got consent to put the hand on the back, because that's another thing. Like you see here during the video, I have my hands over here and over here, but we all have consent to do that. We
yeah.
never just go up to somebody, no matter how hard sometimes it is, because we have that empathy or that intuition that this person, like even my son who's 6, when he was a little baby and couldn't even talk, if someone was having a bad day, he'd just go like this to them. He'd do Reiki
Yep.
hands. So it's just, we finally all found our calling with, being able to facilitate therapeutic touch with consent and in your
So
terms.
I did with cards when I taught. I don't teach anymore. But if you were okay with me teaching, it would be affirmation up. If you were
Yes.
okay with me not, or if you didn't prefer me to touch, card down.
Okay.
And so that way I knew,
I knew you would.
going through the class who I could and could not touch.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting close to the time, so we wrap it up with your questions.
Okay, my questions. Let's see, where do we want to begin? Any of you, if you would like to share something that you believe if more people knew about, their lives would be better.
Everybody's staring at you, Lisa, so go ahead.
No, go next.
Next.
I would say, massage therapy. Before I became a massage therapist, or as I was becoming a massage therapist in school, I started realizing it's not just, I want to go get a massage and, only, if you have money to do it. How much the massage, and we've been talking about emotions and talking about physical limitations and how massage therapy can really help with that. And just by, again, getting the nervous system to calm down, getting people in touch with their bodies and realizing what they're feeling can really be life-changing, because it's a big start, as I think all of you know. It's important to be in touch with ourselves, and massage therapy, I feel, is one of the best ways to do that. It's a combination of massage therapy and meditation. It's really good ways to get in touch.
This is your vehicle. You maintenance your vehicle. You take care of what you have. You only get one. And these muscles get really tight, and they get pulled up like this. And sometimes even just taking that breath of that and then letting it drop, you begin to feel the release. And then when you go see a massage therapist and you let them work through and help you to teach you how to relax those muscles, you begin to honor the car rather than thinking, I'm going to pamper myself. No. You're taking care of the vehicle.
So it's funny you say that, because the pedicures we were talking earlier, I started doing pedicures when I went in the military. And that was one of the things that my platoon sergeant, first sergeant, preached to us, is take care of your feet. You got to take care of your feet all the time. So I go every 3 weeks, I go and get it done. And it's one, I've done it for 21, 22 years now. I've been going every 3 weeks and get a pedicure. The acupuncture, chiropractic, and massages didn't start until I had back surgery. I had disc slip my back and ended up pinching off my spinal cord. And so I lost everything from the waist down for several weeks, had to learn how to walk all over again. And that's where I had to go through. The VA's like, well, you start doing massages, you start doing acupuncture, we'll start everything, we'll send you to all this. And that was 6 years ago when I started that journey. And for me, I guess because of going through everything I was going through, that's where the emotional side of it was hitting me, because I was, there were days, like you said, there's days where I was just losing my mind because I couldn't do what I'm used to doing. And then when you go in there and they start pushing on little parts in your body, or sticking a needle in like a nerve, and it just hits you just right. Like I could feel my leg twitch for the first time. I remember that.
Yeah.
You know, and things. Those were ones that.
Interconnected.
Yeah, those were things for me that got me. So when you're talking about massage being a huge part, you know, for 8 years you've been doing this now, but for me the same thing. It's been 6 years, and I never realized how important it was to your body to get this stuff done. As it took me for me, it took a massive trauma to realize it. But it is huge part. Like you said, your body's your vehicle.
Yep.
You
Take
know.
care of it. And I also want to piggyback what you guys said, because you said you're a mechanic. You tell your mechanic what you need. Hey, I need a new carburetor or this or that, or please check, my engine light's on, check this or that.
I don't know what's going on with my car, but can you please tell me what I need to do?
But please know, and Matt and I always preface every single one of our massages. Communicate to us at any time, more pressure, less pressure, go back to that foot. That feels good. That doesn't feel comfortable, because a lot of people just sit there and just allow the practitioner just to do whatever. But know that we're your employee for that hour.
So what if they don't know?
Communication is key.
What if you don't? Because the first time I had massage, I didn't know how it was supposed to feel. I didn't know if it was supposed to, if you're supposed to feel that pressure, if it was too much pressure or
Yeah.
not enough. So what if you don't know?
That's something I communicate to my clients.
So do you
before
want the
session.
Cadillac massage or the Pinto massage? And that's also what makes a difference with the therapists who have more experience. You can absolutely interview your therapist when you call to make that appointment before you ever get to their office or get on their table. And what I like to say, again, not knocking the people right out of the gate with this profession, but I always make sure my therapist has at least 5 years experience. Or with my team, I have over a dozen contractors with my team. No one on my team at this moment has less than 4 years, but I've started recruiting some newer students where we teach technique. But I will try my best to always work on a new client first and say, okay, I think Tamara's going to be a good fit, or maybe Jennifer's got this cool,
You're a
technique.
connector.
Yeah, master.
She is.
But I want to also say what I would like for people to know that exists, that's out there, aside from what Matt said. I find people tend to gravitate to the 101 type of stuff. They can relate to therapeutic touch, and they can relate to good food. Now, food can have ingredients that are healthier for you, and this food can taste just as good, if not better, than what we're traditionally used to and cooking with. So my family came from Italy to Brooklyn to my hometown in New Jersey and opened up the first Italian bakery. And I inherited a bunch of those recipes from my grandmother, and I started rewriting them to have healthier ingredients. So my cannolis can be made with fermented nut cheese or tofu, and they taste just as good, if not better, and they don't give me they give me more of an energized feeling and
No
not so
inflammation.
lethargic. And that's how my husband won me over, because we're about to launch Mountain Mobile Meals out of Cowan the end of July. We're moving his commercial kitchen from Nashville to here because we really feel like this community is ready for that. And one of our recent clients had said, his wife told me, had said he had just been eating our food, which, we had black and blue steak last night. It was sirloin with blue cheese
too.
dressing that
So
was
good.
made with coconut instead of, and we do mostly vegan, paleo, vegetarian. He started to see, just in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks eating our food, that his waistline started getting slimmer. But he was throwing down, and she couldn't believe he was eating the food. And she even said some of it didn't look the prettiest, but it was amazing. So that foods can taste just as good, if not better, than what we're traditionally used to using.
Right.
Jay's paleo brownies are amazing.
Thank you. And he makes the Bailey's Irish cream ones for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, nice.
All right, Lisa,
Next.
now it's your turn.
My turn. No, I would say in the same vein, you just take care of your body. It's a struggle. I've always struggled with eating the right kinds of food. Like, to me, it's always been a little difficult. But I mean, if you want like amazing skin, like what you're putting in your body is going to affect it first. You can slather on all the creams. That's the easy bit. But yeah, you got to work on what you're putting in.
You
in
have
your
to put your
body.
best face forward, and if you look
Yeah.
at
Can you face
faceology, yeah,
Oh my
I was just gonna
goodness.
say,
Well,
if
I
you look
don't
at
know.
faceology or iridology, which I'm trained in that too, like under the eyes, the eye poofiness and bags, that's how the state of the kidneys are. There's different liver spots that appear on the cheeks. I'm
Where
I'm
you
talking
have
forward.
acne at is amazing to me.
Hormones.
Based on,
Yeah.
what you're eating, what stress levels you're under, where your mentality is. It shows. It shows on the face.
Anyway, and not just skin, but like for just better quality of life when you're 90. You know, so
Because we're going to be old ladies on our rockers doing YouTube and Instagram videos.
Older.
Heck yeah.
yeah. What?
Okay, so life motto. What's your life motto? Or
There's
your
no better
daily
time than
motto?
now. Always do who and what you love.
I like it. Anyone else want to add?
This is why I told you to write a 50-word bio to get ready for stuff like
This
this,
is
Matt.
You should have told me what kind of questions
I just say
to
take
prepare
care of
for.
yourself.
Take
You know,
care.
enjoy life, and you know, if you're wanting to make changes, do it just one step at a time. You don't have to just change everything at once. Just change a little bit. Pick one or two things you want to change. Make it something simple and just work in steps. That's a long motto. I know,
One step
but,
at a time. That's all you
yes,
gotta say.
there you go. One step at a time. There we go.
It starts there.
That goes with the,
Baby
he's got
steps.
that making the bed first thing in the morning motto.
Yes.
That's that military.
Except
Do
when
you
my
make your
dogs
bed?
are on the bed, and then I can't make
Yeah,
it.
that's
too
that
well.
military in you right there. You know, first, wake up first thing in the morning, make your bed, that way you've already accomplished your first
There
task.
you go. That's what I do. If
And-
nothing else in my room is clean, my bed is made.
Yes.
No, I'm not a bed maker.
I love getting into a made bed. All right. So, is there any person, individual, business that you would locally like to shout out?
I can shout out some other SDs. Let's see, Rebecca Ray, Radiant Skin.
She's a
More Med
sweetie.
Spa. She's very sweet. Miranda's Beauty Bar. She's
Yeah.
an SD, but she also
She
does
does
nails.
the lashes and
Yeah.
the nails.
Whitney Combs, also an SD. She does, I think, a lot of lash extensions too. And then Angelica at
Is it Impressions?
Yeah. And I think she does probably more waxing. And there's probably others, but I can't think of them all. But there's 4 SDs for you, so.
There you go. Awesome. Anybody
I'm
else?
fairly new to the area
Welcome.
because I grew up, but I would say the first thing is with Kim Butters of Bodyworks University, which is YOU University. She's Pilates, has yoga as well. I've been working with her. I guess just a little over 2 years now since I came to Sewanee, and
Okay.
we share space together. And she's really good, and we kind of feed off of each other for when we share clients. We kind of can tell each other this client maybe has this or that with permission of the client,
Right.
of course.
I'd like to shout out a couple of our venues, including the University of the South, where we just completed the Vice Chancellor's Pancake Breakfast with a team of 10. We look forward to coming back this fall. Bolt Farm Treehouse in Whitwell, the retreat at Water's Edge in Deer Lake, where we go pretty often, and you've been there. Terra Lodge Tree Houses in Monteagle, the Monteagle Assembly, and my husband, Chef Jay Hay, available for private chefing and catering with Mountain Mobile Meals that you'll be hearing more about come July.
Awesome.
And ourselves, of course.
Yeah.
Our own
Absolutely.
services business.
And Mom, hi Mom. Love you, Grandma.
Well, thank y'all for coming today. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Appreciate it.
All my jam.
It was so fun.
All right.
We only had 5 interruptions,
Nice.
4 of them being mine.